The issue opens where we see a man burst into a New York convenience store as he searched for a mysterious woman called Rabbit. As he went upstairs, we discover that the man goes by the name of Kareem, and he and this Rabbit are all part of Tombstone's gang. Making his way into the building apartments, he asks this Rabbit if a man is giving her trouble, where we discover that Rabbit was actually a goth vampire mommy who had just been turned by a shadowy figure in the corner. The story just got so much more interesting, boys. First Lady D and Resident Evil to this, vampire babes are so back. We then see that this story takes place right in the middle of the Marvel Bloodhunt storyline, as countless vampires descended from the skies above, feeding on every horrified New Yorker they could get their hands on. This being a Spider-Man story, good old Peter Parker was not about to let these bipedal mosquitoes hurt his fellow New Yorkers, as he engaged a group who were just about to attack a couple, saying that it felt good to beat up on some literal monsters for once, as there were no moral questions on who was good or bad. You see nasty, gray monster people draining someone's blood, safe to say, they're bad. As he finished webbing up the Twilight set extras, Peter got a strange text to his phone from an unknown individual asking for Spider-Man's help at the intersection of 86th and 2nd Avenue. Not recognizing the number, Spider-Man went to check things out, where the distressed text came from Kareem, who we saw before. Asking the man just how he got Peter Parker's number, Kareem told him that he got it from Tombstone, so they could eventually get a hold of Spider-Man to trap and eventually kill him. Hey man, at least he's being honest. Not sticking around for Tombstone to pick out his tombstone, Spidey went to make an exit until Kareem stopped him, saying that he desperately needed his help, for Rabbit was in trouble. Knowing exactly who this was, Spider-Man then said that this changes everything, for he did not realize that he was being asked to save the psycho woman who routinely tries to stab him with a carrot. Honestly, bro, she still sounds less toxic than modern MJ. With Spidey being understandably hesitant, Kareem told him that this was not an easy situation for him either. He could barely get in contact with anyone from his gang, and most importantly, Rabbit was his friend who was in trouble. He then told Spider-Man that he remembered the time the wall crawler saved him from a burning car when he didn't even know him. Despite being a full-time crook, he knew Spidey was a hero, and now more than ever, needed his aid. Falling prey to the dude's sob story, Big Softy Spidey asked for the rapper Common's comic book clone to lead the way. Coming to the outside of the convenience store from earlier in the episode, we see Kareem unveil a pack of vampire-killing steaks that he recently snagged from a construction site. Informing Spider-Man of the esoteric information that steaks do in fact kill vampires, he then told the dude that Rabbit had come to the store to collect from a man who owed money to the gang, but was now a vampire, and they had to do what needed to be done. With Spider-Man believing this meant killing Rabbit, Kareem then asked the dude just what the heck was wrong with him, and said that they needed to kill the vampire who turned her so she could go back to normal, where Spider-Man then told him that he knew how vampires worked. Clearly you don't, Spidey, and honestly, neither do I. Reluctantly taking the weapons, Spider-Man, still having a woman to save, made his way inside. Making his way into the dank dark store, Peter came across a trail of blood, where he was then met by a large group of rats, which caused him to let out a horrified scream. Mind you, this dude has fought ghosts, demons, and aliens, and New York City rats still terrify him. Justifiably so. Those things are on another level. With Kareem making fun of the dude for getting scared of the rodents, Peter Spider-Sense saved him just in the nick of time from getting his head sliced off from the vampiric Rabbit. Evading the woman's attacks, Peter was impressed and scared by her strength and speed, where she closed upon the hero, only for Kareem to take advantage of the opening by slamming her into a laundry cart, where he locked her in a storage room so he and Spidey could have a few extra minutes to find the one who infected her. With Kareem telling Spider-Man that the vampire was in apartment 38, the hero made his way upstairs to finally finish this. Creaking open the creepy door for the already creepy apartment, Peter made his way into the complex, where he came across the disgusting kitchen, which had cans and rotted food strewn everywhere. Already pretty freaked out, Spider-Man then heard a sinister voice, which said it could hear him and Kareem calling it a monster. Following the sound of the voice, Peter entered the dark room, where his spider sense blared again as he was attacked by a large infected man chained to a radiator. Startled and confused at what appeared to be just a regular vampire dude, Spidey asked just what was going on. Spider-Man then asked the man who got here before him and locked him up like this, where the vampire responded that he did it to himself after becoming infected. Seeing the wall crawler prepped with his stake, his initial rage turned to relief, where he asked if the weapon was meant for him. With Spidey even more conflicted, the man then told him that living like this was absolute hell, and pleaded with the hero to kill him and end this nightmare. We then discovered that this man was a store owner, where with tears in his eyes, he told Spidey that just a few days ago, he was giving a customer his change who initially appeared to be quite kind, but then overpowered and fed on him. The next thing he knew, he too was now a vampire and had come face to face with Rabbit, who came to collect her pay on behalf of Tombstone. Having no control over his actions, the man then lunged upon and fed on the woman, creating the monster that was downstairs. He told Spider-Man that he always hoped one of the heroes would eventually stop the gang from robbing his store, but they never did. And as his luck would have it, a hero would now finally arrive, only to kill him. Spider-Man's black and white compass of vampire morality would be shattered in that moment as he sat down the broken man, telling him that he knew people who could help his condition and would do everything in his power to reverse it. He then comforted the man, telling him that he was safe in this room, where out of nowhere a stake would emerge from his heart from behind, where instantly he turned to a pile of dust. We then see that this was the work of Kareem, who congratulated the Avenger on a job well done, with a horrified Spider-Man asking just why he did that. Apologizing for breaking up this tender moment, Kareem then told Peter that he was running out of time, revealing that he too had been bitten by Rabbit when she was infected and could not risk him turning as well. At the end of the day, this was not about saving her. This was all about saving himself. Enraged, Spider-Man lifted the man into the air, swearing that he would be charged for this, where Kareem could only laugh, asking just how he could be charged for killing a pile of dust. The now human White Rabbit then entered the room, asking just what happened and if she hurt anyone, where Kareem then comforted her, saying that he took care of it and everything was going to be alright. Turning to Spider-Man, he told the hero that this was a war they were all fighting, and nobody was going to care about a few casualties along the way. Setting the man down, Peter told Kareem that he was wrong, for he cared what happened to each person in this city. Angrily making his way outside, Spider-Man saw the never-ending invasion as more and more innocents were snatched up by the hungry invaders. Demanding for the monsters to stop, he began to brutally beat them, hoping to feel better, like he was making a difference. But alas, with each punch, he felt gradually worse and worse about this situation. Believing a more scientific solution may be the key to ending this bloodied reign of terror, Peter went to find a lab, where his spider sense sounded again, alerting him of an all too familiar presence. This presence being his scaly longtime foe, Dr. Kurt Connors, the infamous lizard. I, for the life of me though, could not tell you if this was a vampire lizard. But hey man, vampire lizards sound pretty sweet. I love this story.